Well, thank you for being here. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. As you just saw, we just had a wonderful roundtable of stakeholders from the business community, from law enforcement, our elected officials, community groups, all focused on, concerned about, and committed to addressing the widespread and growing copper theft and copper vandalism that we're seeing certainly here in LA County, but throughout our state. And as California Attorney General, I wanted to convene this group of leaders to talk about best practices, approaches that have been working and that can be scaled, invite creative approaches for what more we can do, and some really wonderful takeaways today around using all tools in the toolbox, using both criminal and civil tools, and collaborating, focusing on both prevention and accountability. And more. So I was really grateful for the conversation, honored by the incredible folks who came, including our LA County Sheriff, Robert Luna, our LA County DA, Nathan Hochman, our LA City Attorney, Heidi Feldstein Soto, and others. And also I just want to say thank you to AT&T, who over a year ago requested a meeting, and we met in my office, and they talked about this growing, I won't say emerging because it had very much emerged by then, but growing and worsening threat to their infrastructure and to their ability to serve their customers, to their ability to provide reliable communication systems, which have so many impacts on our healthcare, on our transportation, on our education, on our businesses, on 911 response, public safety, and appreciated the conversation then. We've continued to have that conversation since then, and it is in large part due to their leadership, their focus on this issue, that we are here today. So I want to say thanks to AT&T, specifically to the business community broadly, who have lifted up this issue, who have been doing a lot to tackle the issue themselves, but certainly are deserving of and need partnership from the law enforcement community and beyond. And this is a collective challenge to all of us, to our society as a whole, to our common future. And so we're grateful to be able to work together. I do just want to put a couple specific points on the problem that we're facing of people, sometimes individuals, often organized, vandalizing our telecommunications systems, stealing copper, stealing the wire for resale, selling it at scrap metal dealers, recyclers, at those businesses, and making money off of it. This problem has existed for some number of years, but is growing, is worsening every year, which is why we're here, to slow it, to stop it, to make sure that there's accountability and important efforts to tackle it. Out of 50 states, California ranks 4th for the most insurance claims for metal thefts. From just June to December of last year, just half the year, the telecom industry alone reported 5,700 incidents of theft and vandalism across the United States. It affected more than 1.5 million customers. We see a daily rate of copper theft and vandalism incidents of about 27 per day nationwide. And LA County, unfortunately, is not immune. Not only is it not immune, it has been a epicenter for this unlawful conduct. And that's why we came together today to discuss some of those issues. Just to localize the issue a little bit, copper theft has plunged street blocks into darkness in the Pico Union and Westlake neighborhoods here in Los Angeles. Cable damage in South LA has taken down residents' landline phones. We had vandalism that caused streetlights to go out in Boyle Heights and Lincoln Heights and El Sereno, and the city estimated repairs would come in at about $17 million. So just another proof point on the scale of the damage, the cost of the damage. $17 million in one incident for the repairs. This past January, a K-8 school in Vallejo was shut down for over a week after copper wire theft left them without power. More than 600 students and their families were left high and dry. The repair costs there were $200,000, so it's affecting our kids' learning, our teachers' ability to teach, our schools' ability to remain open. In Tulare and Kings counties, copper theft from agricultural water pumps impacted water access and food production, left farmers with repair bills ranging from $5,000 to $100,000. So I started off with some of the LA examples, and you also see that there are statewide examples of impact. And I just want to give one final example. Even the California DOJ is not immune from copper thieves. Our own office in Fresno was targeted by copper theft. It disrupted our phone and our alarm systems, and it impacted the workflow until repairs were completed. So Department of Justice, for whom public safety is job number 1, 2, and 3, we were hampered by copper theft as well. And the people who, that is not due to copper theft. That was just someone leaning on the switch. So, and the people who foot the bill are you and me and us, taxpayers, the public, law-abiding Californians who had no role in the destruction, and that cannot continue. So the roundtable was a day to share thoughts, identify solutions, commit to pathways forward as we address copper theft and vandalism, and I'm grateful for all those who participated, and happy to answer any more questions in the Q&A section. But it was a really important discussion. Some pathways were illuminated that we can pursue, and my office will be working on that. We have a role not just in LA County but statewide to help tackle this challenge, and that's something that we're committed to doing. So before I open it up for questions, I want to turn it over to California AT&T President Susan Santana.
Good morning, everyone. Susan Santana, State President for AT&T California. I first want to thank Attorney General Bonta because a year and a half ago we were in his office in Oakland, and we talked about it. We showed videos, we showed pictures. He was so engaged in this, and his team has been phenomenal to work with and being able to carry this. So thank you for the follow-up. Thank you for this. I'm really inspired and grateful because today's conversation was so thoughtful, covered so many different angles, so many different ideas. It was creative, and so I really look forward to the following up and continuing down the path of finding a solution, because we are all in this together. You know, when copper cable is illegally removed from our network, it impacts our customers' ability to connect to voice and broadband services, and more importantly, to reach emergency services, as Attorney General Bonta pointed out. AT&T has been experiencing an unprecedented and an alarming increase in copper thefts in the state, as well as vandalism to our network. Specifically in California, we're seeing the highest rate of copper theft out of the entire nation. So I'm really thrilled that we're putting together ideas and creating solutions to move forward. Let me just give you an example because the numbers are staggering. In 2021, so just a couple of years ago, we had 71 incidents of copper theft. Last year, it jumped to 2,258. So this is really an epidemic, a communications epidemic. And as a result, we've made very strategic and prioritizing certain efforts, both internally and externally, because in order to tackle this issue, we have to tackle it on multiple fronts and with multiple partners. Internally, we've implemented several infrastructure hardening measures that would help deter future thefts. For instance, securing the points of entry to our network infrastructure, installing metal casing to protect our cables, locking and welding manhole lids to prevent unauthorized access. But to truly address this problem at its root, we rely on a strong partnership with local law enforcement and with our valued community leaders, statewide and locally. We're working very closely with all the agencies throughout California to identify and be able to prosecute those responsible for copper theft. And to aid in this goal, I'm very excited to announce that we're making an important contribution to this effort. AT&T will be offering a reward of up to $20,000 for specific and detailed information that leads to the arrest and conviction of copper thieves. We hope this will incentivize the community to come forward, to speak out, and to be vigilant. This one-of-a-kind investment demonstrates just how far we're willing to go to help the state and its local municipalities put a halt to these rising crimes. Addressing copper theft is vital to the well-being of Californians across the state, but we can't solve this problem alone. We need your help in order to hold perpetrators accountable and to keep our communities safe. copper theft is not just a telecommunications issue. It's a public safety issue, it's an economic issue, and it's a community issue. So with that, AT&T remains fully committed to being a partner, a good corporate partner to finding a solution, and we're grateful for your leadership, Attorney General, as well as the dedication of law enforcement community members, as well as local elected officials, for treating this issue with great urgency. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Susan. And with that, we can take any questions that you might have.